Hi, good afternoon. This is Meredith Lego, and I'm doing a series of videos on Ascension science. A lot of the content that I bring forward has come from channeling or connecting with other beings who are not physical, and essentially asking various questions and getting answers back on various topics. Most of the content has come from an ascended being called Ascended Master Hilarion. In this particular video, I'm going to touch upon various passages, if you will, of content that has to do with, they're sort of cryptic, that talks about kind of what's going on and what humanity has to do around it. And I was getting a lot of messages at this particular time that the collapse is near. Now that sounds very dire, but keep in mind that oftentimes, timelines shift, but also, so even if, there's some prediction that's being made, you really know that's a potential timeline. It may not be the timeline that you experience. So that's the first and foremost thing. Obviously what happens really is within the collective consciousness of humanity, and we have the ability to control that. I think the other thing is that we're in the process, I think, as a species of doing a lot of emotional clearing. And we know that ascension is, 95% emotional and letting go of the mental ego personality complex. And so, the terming of collapse could be that literally, you see, mass play out of traumas and triggers that are releasing from many, many individuals within our society, including me. So, it could be that it's going to get worse before it gets better because we have to let that emotional clearing take its course. But that being said, let me share with you some really quick passages that did have to do with this general theme of things kind of changing. So the first one is: the intercept occurs as rings of hope enter the earth once again. Crowds will open their crowns and link to the field with untold and profound effect. So when the term crown is said here, so crowds will open their crowns and link to the field. I believe that's reference to the crown chakra. Fear will be erased. The symptoms of entangled webs of lies and deceit will no longer be tolerated, as the vibration associated with those intentions and manifestations are no longer tolerated or sustainable with the new earth and the new energy frequency. Waves of additional humans pushing to awaken is happening now. The tipping point is very near. Maintain hope and continue to hold a vision of unity and bonded consciousness and thoughts of goodwill, love, light, peace, freedom for all conscious beings. Choice for freedom is a choice. So that's one particular passage. It talks about sort of there's going to continue to be mass awakening, which means oftentimes for people to awaken, it's got to get better, for people to sort of wake up from the slumber, so to speak, and realize what they do want. And what he's implying here is that, we could be living around things that we don't want, but, freedom is a choice. And so if you choose freedom, you've got to essentially, intend for that. Another passage was the following: the hearts of humanity are rising to the surface of awakening after a long slumber. Millions are rising up from the ashes to shepherd a new dawn. Assimilate your inner sight on peace, hope, compassion, integrity, justice, truth, and gratitude. Sealing this fate will be accomplished with a kiss and an inner knowing from within. Time heals all wounds. Heal yourself by forgiving others. It is not they who need to change, but you. So that again is another statement that masses are awakening and that we're moving into a new dawn. But the most important message of that passage was that often we look for others to be the fault. So that's sort of our ego personality complex. It's everybody else's issue as to why things aren't, going right. And again, what he's saying is that in order to change the mirror, you have to change the source of the reflection. So you need to go in and think about what you can do to change. So change in the world starts with change within yourself. And so, obviously, it's so easy to get trapped in the polarity games that are playing out right now within society and within the news. So you have a choice to feed into that part of the matrix, or you could choose not to and, essentially take a different stance within yourself. So that's another message. And then another message that came through, although it's a little more odd, which is why I hadn't, read it yet, but this is how it came. So the trade route flows, spice of love and honor for time of integrity. Bright hemp will once again return to the land of slumbering humans, force us to overcome. The time has come for men to stand up and be firm in their power. This is the lesson to be mastered. Revelations will be extreme, but necessary to help the process. Remain in the neutral point. So again, this one, once again, talks about, people will be waking up, and as part of that process, there will be revelations. There will be tough stuff that has to happen in order for that process to, to take place. But he essentially reminded me, and I'm reminding you, try to stay in the neutral point and not get sucked into the drama as this goes on. So as I understand it, as we as Source are, trying to go through transition and change and evolve, your higher self, higher source consciousness provides it in the form of hints. Time to make a change or a direction in your life. This is kind of either what you planned or what's needed for your best and highest good. And if things aren't changing, the rug will be pulled out from under you and it will force a change. And so in many cases, in addition to like the triggers and traumas that are being released in society right now, rugs are being pulled out from whole structures of our society now, forcing change to happen. And so at the beginning of the video, I talked about getting a couple messages, although I can't seem to find them right now, of all my passages that basically said the collapse is near. So the only thing that I can interpret that to mean is that literally the rug is going to start being pulled out. It's already started, but will continue to be pulled out around many structures or systems that we have within society, and that could continue. Obviously we're all going through it, and the most important thing is to remain in the neutral point and just recognize that the most important thing you have is you are a free, sovereign being, and to always remember and maintain that, within yourself. So with that, I hope, these have added to your learning. They certainly, have helped me during, critical times of different things that have been going on with our day-to-day society. So it allows me to just take a step back and remember to continue to not let them get to me emotionally as much as they have in the past. So with that, I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I'll share some more on future videos. Take care.